Hello, and welcome to the Art of Living Well podcast. I'm Stephanie May Potter, and I'm here with my co-host, Marnie Dotches-Marmette.
We created the Art of Living Well podcast to empower you to live your happiest, healthiest, and most authentic life. Each week, we will bring you inspiring and motivating conversations covering health and wellness topics, including fitness, mindset, food, travel, product reviews, and strategies from a variety of experts, including our own bank of knowledge.
We are excited to educate, motivate, and inspire you to change the way you perceive health and discover your art of living well. Get ready to feel inspired.
Stephanie and I had such an amazing experience last week. We went to Healing Elements Yoga and Massage Studio in St. Anthony Park, which is really on the cusp of St. Paul and Minneapolis. And we went there and we took just a wonderful yoga class. We each had our, own massages. I had like an integrated massage, which I've never had before. And the therapist was so wonderful. What did you have?
I had a deep tissue and I had so much inflammation going on in my body. It was wonderful, wonderful. Probably one of the best massages I've had. It's such a welcoming community too, Marnie. Like we sat before our massage and yoga class and we had tea. They have like a little, tea coffee shop area and a retail space.
Which had the cutest little things. Like I could just spend time kind of browsing around in there.
Yes.
And it's such an authentic place. Like you really could feel that welcoming community and
just inclusiveness and connectedness, really.
And they have so many different services they offer. They have all different kinds of yoga classes, meditation classes, massage therapy. They're doing workshops and special events.
And you can actually sign up to have like a massage membership. So if you are someone that...
Which is so cool.
Yes. So Healing Elements has an amazing offer for all of our listeners. First-time customers can receive a 1 week of unlimited yoga classes for free and $15 off a massage treatment. Head on over to our show notes and you'll get the promo code. You can either book online or you can call the studio.
I cannot wait to go back.
Either can I.
Welcome to the Art of Living Well podcast. This is a bonus episode today where we're going to have some conversation around the coronavirus and hopefully try and reduce some of the stress around the virus. And I know there's a lot of panic out there right now. So Stephanie and I just want to have a conversation about what's going on in the world, I guess.
Yeah. And I think, Marnie, in the last 24 hours, so many events have unfolded, and maybe you can provide the listeners with an update of what's going on in your life, because you've had some big changes, which I know just create, emotional fragility as well, right? This is all a lot for everyone.
Yeah, so I personally am feeling pretty sad and disappointed today. As of yesterday morning, my family, or at least 4 out of our 5, were heading off to Iceland and London for a trip that we've been planning for around 9 months now and have been really, really looking forward to and planning to go until everything kind of took a turn last night with the travel bans being in place and just feeling like it wasn't the right thing to do to leave the country for our family. My son, who's in college, was told that there would be no more school for the rest of the week or the rest of the year. As of Monday, they'll be going to online school, and they're recommending that students go home if they can. So it's just unbelievable to me, like the turn of events that have happened in the last 24 hours, really. Being based here in Minnesota, it feels like life is pretty much going on as usual. So it almost feels unreal. Like I can't believe this is happening. Would you agree with that, Stephanie?
I completely agree. And the other thing too is there's the news and the media are just, it's nonstop. And I found myself more the last couple of days, listening to podcasts on the coronavirus. And I don't know if that's making it better or worse. I may feel a little bit more informed than I did when I was a bit in denial last week, but at the same time, it's all consuming. And so now that's what we're spending our mental capacity on, is thinking about this and implications. And last night I went and ran errands, and I was in Target, and I only had a short list of things to buy, and I found myself stocking up on canned goods if there were even any available, because many of the shelves were wiped clean. There weren't any wipes, there wasn't any Tylenol, but stocking up on things and frozen goods and products that I know will last a few weeks in the event that we're quarantined and we can't go anywhere, and we're in our house for an extended period of time.
And that it feels crazy almost. And people are doing that. I actually realized yesterday that we were down to 2 rolls of toilet paper in our house, and I had heard that there was potentially a toilet paper shortage. So of course I run out, and I can't find toilet paper anywhere. And in fact, when I was at Target yesterday, the cleaning aisle and the paper towel aisle and whatever, the shelves were bare. Like I couldn't believe it. And, then I went online and tried to order toilet paper online, and I got a notification, no toilet paper. There's no toilet paper at Costco. So I ended up stocking up on a lot of Kleenex because I didn't know what else to do.
Well, Marnie, the good thing is last time we were at Costco, maybe a week or so ago, we did buy toilet paper. So I can always run some over to your house if you get really desperate.
Well, I do have quite a few boxes of Kleenex right now. And hopefully at some point, some of these stores will be getting more toilet paper in. It seems like of all the things to make a run for, that one just seems odd to me.
I know. I hear you.
Anyway, like going back to the conversation about, just the stress and what can you do to like minimize the emotional fallout from what's going on today, right? Like what can we do to manage all this?
Right. And I think it probably starts with your immune system and keeping that as strong and healthy as you can. And hopefully people have been doing that because we are still in cold and flu season. And I know for me personally, that's when I'm taking more vitamin C and doing things to support my immune health and keep me as healthy as possible. And if I do get sick, hopefully the symptoms go away pretty quickly. So I think it's the basic stuff that we probably talk about all the time, right? I mean, staying away from refined sugar and processed food, and really focusing on eating a rainbow and eating as clean and just as many whole, nourishing foods that are going to give your body the vitamins and minerals and support you need to stay healthy and strong.
And really thinking about not taking that extra whatever kind of sugar, because the sugar does feed illness, right?
It does. Because the bad bacteria in your gut, which is, 70% of your immune system resides in your gut, the bad bacteria love sugar. So eating more of it, just hold off a little bit. Hopefully this is not going to go on for forever, but I think really trying to stay away from those processed foods and sugars will help you quite a bit.
Yeah. And like last night when we formally canceled our trip and I was pretty much in tears, I really wanted to reach for chocolate. I have to be honest. Like my initial reaction was like, I just want some chocolate.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I didn't. I don't even have any in the house, to be honest with you right now. So I didn't. It wasn't even an option.
Well, Marty, I can run some of that over to chocolate and toilet paper will be delivered to your house later today.
But in all seriousness, some of the things that I'm doing right now, and I'm having my family do as well, and I will do these things during the winter anyway, just to keep my immune system healthy. But I'm taking vitamin D every day. I'm taking balanced zinc right now, which is not something I take year round, but during the winter, I'm taking that to keep my immune system up, and during flu season, I'm taking vitamin C. I'm taking vitamin B, I'm taking omega-3s, and I'm trying to, and my daily nutritional support. So I'm really just trying to keep my immune system boosted, I guess, right?
Exactly.
So that if I do catch something, hopefully it'll go through me quickly and the symptoms that I have will not be severe.
Exactly. And I'm doing all those same things. And in particular with my kids, they're not as good about taking their vitamins, but I leave a couple of the key ones out. And also I'm taking a probiotic.
Oh yeah, me too. Me too.
And I've actually gotten my husband to take a couple of vitamins because he just has a little lingering cough. And I'm like, you got to load up on your vitamin C and zinc and all those good nutrients that you need as well.
And to add one more thing that I'm taking that I didn't mention is elderberry syrup.
Yes.
And I've been giving it to my kids in the morning also. I don't know if it's doing anything, but it makes me feel better.
Yes.
To
The
take
placebo
it.
effect maybe
Yes.
working.
So, and knock on wood, so far everybody's remained healthy. So
yes. That's good.
But we will link up all of these supplements for you in the show notes if you are interested in learning more about that.
Exactly.
And, another big thing all the time, but especially during these times of stress and panic, is to make sure that you're getting enough sleep. Because when you're not getting enough sleep, your immune system is definitely lower. What's the word I'm looking for?
Well, it could be
Compromised. Yes, compromised.
And think because when you are sleeping, that's the time your body has to rest and repair. And so if there is something lingering and you need to fight it off, you need as much sleep as possible because then your body's not doing other things or you're not in a state of stress. And it's able to fight off that infection better. So, that the other morning I actually snoozed and totally skipped a walk I was going to go on and slept for over another hour. And I just knew my body needed it. I was kind of feeling like I was maybe getting a scratchy throat and I just skipped it. And I usually then have this lingering thought all day, well, I didn't get a workout in or movement or anything. And I was just fine with it. Like you need to listen to your body. And when you need sleep, skip the workout, especially when it's a high intense workout. Mm-hmm. And focus on, it's a good time to focus on self-care.
Totally.
And maybe some of those habits that you wanted to make in 2020 that you started in January and now it's March and maybe they've slipped off. Maybe it was meditation and breathing or sleeping better, journaling, whatever it is. This is a great time. Especially a lot of us have events coming up that have been canceled. I know myself, I had something on Saturday I was going to be at all day that's been canceled. And, it's unfortunate, yes, but look at this as an opportunity. There's a silver lining. There's probably something else you could do. Maybe it's just spending time with your family and having game day in the middle of the day because your activities have been canceled or what have you.
Yes. It's funny that you mentioned the games because I was thinking, what are we going to do over these next few weeks? And we had started playing this game as a family over winter break called Catan. I can't remember the full name of the game.
Okay.
But it's such a fun game for kids and teens. Like everybody in my house loved it. Even I loved it. And so I'm thinking, okay, we're going to be playing that a lot over the next few weeks.
Maybe we should share our favorite family games on our show notes too.
Oh, that's a great idea. I love that idea. Yeah. So a couple of other things, I know that everybody's hearing about hand washing and definitely hand washing is important. Soap and water works very well. Right? I think you're supposed to scrub your hands for at least 20 seconds.
Yes. And it's funny because 20 seconds, and we've all known this for a while, but I think normally we wash our hands pretty quickly and we're done. And if you actually count for 20 seconds or sing happy birthday or twice or whatever you're supposed to do, you realize
ABCs,
ABCs, you realize that it's a lot longer than you think. And maybe it's longer than you're normally used to spending, but just scrubbing all parts of your hands, right? But I think with that, really the issue is not obviously hand washing is important, but it's really not putting your fingers and your hands in contact with your nose, your mouth, and your eyes, because that's how the virus spreads, right?
And people touch their faces a lot. Like, you don't even think about it. It's like, I think what is the statistic? The average person touches their face like 23 times an hour or something. And it's like this, it's almost an involuntary movement.
I know. And so, I do it a lot, I feel like.
most people do, I think. And so to just try and be really conscious of not touching your face, which I know is hard to do, right?
Yes. Yes. Agree.
And we're also hearing this term called social distancing, which
Let's talk about that.
when I first heard that, I almost wanted to laugh. Like when I don't remember when that term first came out. It was what, like 6 weeks ago, or maybe it was even longer ago. I can't keep track of the timeline of this whole virus, but it just goes against everything that I want to do.
Yes.
Right?
Especially during these times, because during times of uncertainty and heightened stress and a little bit of panic, what we need is more human connection and interaction and face-to-face and touch, right?
Yes.
And so social distancing is completely contrary to everything that we need as human beings.
So it just feels weird to like see a friend and not be able to give them a hug.
Right.
You know, out at a party and you want to take a sip of someone's drink or taste their food, or, going to lunch with a friend, like whatever it is, going to the gym, like all of these things are all of a sudden becoming like, well, should I do this or shouldn't I do this? Is this going to compromise my family? Is this going to compromise me? Is like, it's kind of crazy to think that we're even having this conversation.
I know. I agree.
So maybe, what are some things that you can do if you do need to do some social distancing, like maybe having a small group of friends in your home instead of going out to eat, or watching movies at home, or playing games at home, or connecting with people over FaceTime.
FaceTime, right. And I think those small groups is critical. And I think, at least as of now, unless you have the virus, that's perfectly, acceptable, especially when all these large gatherings where you may have planned to see people, the NBA has canceled the rest of their season. And I know here, local universities for sporting events are only allowing players and their immediate family into the arenas. So that's obviously a big letdown and disappointment. So get creative in how you can still see some of the people that are close to you and meaningful. And maybe it's spending more time with your immediate neighbors and catching up with people that you haven't seen in a while. So there could be a little bit of a silver lining to this, always trying to stay positive, because at the end of the day, what else can we do, right?
Right. And it is important, even going back to the blue zones, which we've talked about before, it is important to maintain those relationships and those connections.
Absolutely.
So we don't want to just isolate ourselves in the sense that we're completely alone and isolated.
Right.
And I know that the message out there is to isolate and stay home, but then maybe you are making a FaceTime call or a Zoom or whatever it is, so that you're still connecting in some form with people.
Exactly. Because like you said, the power of friendship and relationships and human contact and interaction is very powerful, and we don't want that to go away during this time.
Right. And, going into that just leads us into probably one of the biggest things, which is stress, right? Like, how do you stay calm and keep your stress down? I personally am struggling with this a little bit. And I feel like in general, I'm not a very stressed out or anxious person. So it's interesting to all of a sudden feel this stress that I'm not used to feeling. And I've really had to force myself to breathe, force myself to kind of take a step back and be like, this is going to be okay. I can get through this. We can get through this. Like,
right.
And my stress is a mixture of stress, I would say, and sadness and disappointment over lots of different things.
Yep. Yes. I'm right there with you.
I'm not even feeling stressed that I'm going to get sick. Like that's
I don't. I'm not worried about that at all. I know. I'm worried that we're supposed to be going away and leaving on Tuesday, and yes, in the U.S., but pretty far from where we live. And I just don't know what's going to happen, And
So-
I feel for all the people out there that have had to cancel trips to be with family and see loved ones and things like that. So,
And all the students that have to come home from all
I
their college
know.
experiences, and I mean all these different people in the world that are working on various things that are being canceled. I mean, there's a gazillion things out there that are being canceled right now.
Right. And the effect that has on people's livelihoods and their financial situation. There's ripple effects of all of this. And that kind of gets into travel a little bit.
And yes, it gets into travel, and it also gets into, when you talk about the ripple effects, I heard something yesterday about homeless people and food shelves, and how since people are stocking up so much in their homes and all this food, that the food shelves are, going into a shortage. And that if people out there can, donate any of the food they're stocking up to the food shelves, they really need them right now. So that's something else to consider.
Oh my, wow. I hadn't heard that. It makes, obviously, it's very, makes sense, but that's a great thing that people can do.
Mm-hmm.
And, that may actually help you when you do something and you give back and you do something that makes you feel good and makes the other person feel good. That's going to increase everyone's health and happiness and reduce stress, right? By providing food to someone in need.
Right.
And likely if you've stocked your pantry for 3 weeks, you can probably give up a few, if everyone could give up a few items to someone who doesn't have any food.
Right.
I think that would all be, great.
And exactly. And at the end of the day, like, we need to try and stay positive. We need to find the silver lining, right?
Yeah.
And figure out how to move forward in this kind of new reality right now. And stay healthy and stay positive and try and, come together, right? And lift each other up.
Yes, exactly.
So we'll be linking up, some of this information in the show notes. And
we'd love to hear from you guys, just how everyone's doing, and if there are any tips or strategies or, coping mechanisms that you're using to get through these somewhat stressful and challenging times. We'd love to hear from you and just be able to support you. So you could head on over to our Facebook group. We have a private Facebook group that you could join, and we could really all use each other during these times.
And we just, we wish you the best, and we hope that you stay safe and healthy.
Yeah.
All right, spring is here, and that means it's time to spring clean our health. And Marnie, let's talk a little bit about our upcoming 7-day liver detox.
So we are running these community liver detoxes every season. We did one in January, and it went great. We had a nice big community with us. And Stephanie and I have been doing these detoxes for a while now, just trying to kind of remove that toxic load from our liver. And we both feel pretty awesome after we do them.
Absolutely. And everyone that's done one with us, and we've coached numerous people through this, everyone feels amazing. It doesn't honestly matter how clean you eat. Marnie and I eat pretty well, but inevitably there's toxins that get into our body, and we end up going through periods where we're drinking more and eating more sugar or processed foods. And this is just a great way to cleanse it all out.
Absolutely. And also, if you suffer from like digestive issues or low energy, or you have those intense cravings for sugar or salty foods, or even like
joint pain
bloating and joint pain, or brain fog, this detox can really kind of jumpstart you and get you on your way to starting to remove some of those symptoms.
Absolutely. And I think that's what people say so often. It's such a great reset.
Yes. And a jump start onto a nice spring path, right?
Exactly. And I think with every season, that's always a good time to jumpstart your health. So let's talk a little bit about what they're going to get, what this program is going to provide them. I mean, there's going to be accountability and coaching, a private group.
You're going to get this awesome recipe book with recipes specific to the detox, and daily emails that are really going to help you focus on your mindset and your self-care, and
really like learning to tune into your body and understand how your body feels when you eat certain foods and when you remove certain foods. So
we're running this workshop, detox, April 5th through April 11th. It's a 7-day detox. And if you don't want to or can't join the community portion of it, you can do it at any time.
And head on over to our website, which is theartoflivingwell.us/programs for more information.
And you can also listen to our episode 16 of the Art of Living Well podcast and hear Dr. Stephen Cabral talk a little bit more about why it's good to detox.
Yes. Hope you join us.
Thank you so much for listening to the Art of Living Well podcast. We are so grateful that you joined us today.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend or anyone else you think may benefit from this information. We'd love for you to subscribe to our podcast, leave us a review, and tag the Art of Living Well podcast on social media.
If you want more inspiration in between episodes, you can find us on social media at theartofliving_well on Instagram and Facebook, where we will share snippets from our daily lives and our journey to living well.